If you are somebody who has been out of the saddle for a longer than you wanted period of time, whether that is 2 months, 2 years, 22 years, 42 years, who cares? And you're struggling to make horse riding something that is a consistent part of your life again, well, this episode is for you. I want to help you figure out what's holding you back from getting back in the saddle and returning to riding. Okay, let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Lorna, and I'm an equestrian trainer and coach, and I help riders all over the world to have better conversations with their horses and to make riding a more consistent thing on their weekly schedule. So if that's you, well, okay, getting back into the saddle after a break can be challenging, and there's lots of reasons it's challenging. It's a mindset thing, it's an actual time thing, it's a responsibility thing, it's a everything's changed thing, it's I don't know what to do and everything's different and bloody bloody blah and bloody bloody blah. And I am not negating or making little of or light of any of those things. They're real, and the challenge is real. Like if you haven't been riding for a while and all of a sudden you decide you want to ride again, it can be really and truly a struggle to make it happen again, and to make it happen on a consistent basis. And that's what I want to talk about now. I'm not just talking about kind of a flash in the pan, like you go riding and you see these riders, I'm back riding, and it's all rah rah, and it's hugely inspiring and motivating, and it's a barrel of laughs for like a month and then nothing. So we want to talk today about consistently getting back in the saddle, okay? So as it actually does become part of your day-to-day activities again. Now, before we get into getting back, I think it's important to address that there are so many different reasons why you may have stopped riding consistently to begin with. For some people, it's just a change in circumstances or situation. So it could be maybe a change in location, a change in circumstances from the point maybe you were studying and then you had to work, maybe you had a family, maybe there was somebody you had to take care of or look after, your responsibilities changed, whatever, okay? It could have been just that it just wasn't fun anymore and you didn't enjoy it anymore and it wasn't fitting in with your current lifestyle. That's fine as well. Or it could be that something happened and you were afraid, and due to that fear you just stepped away for a little while, but now you're ready to come back and to reassess the situation. Whatever the reason, okay? Whatever the reason it was that you stopped horse riding, you're going to have to at some point just make peace with it. I see a lot of people, they kind of carry the reason back with them into the saddle, and all that ends up happening is it causes this kind of, I don't know, like a rub, like a tension, okay, that doesn't need to be there. Causes that for them with their riding, and it's almost like they're bringing the past with them back into the saddle, and you don't need to do that. Just make peace with whatever happened, accept it happened, and then move on, okay, and start thinking about this kind of new phase for you to get back into the saddle, okay? I think that so many riders, they sit on like the proverbial sidelines of the horse riding dreams, and they just keep wishing for the day to arrive, but for so many people, it's not going to arrive unless you actually make a plan, you do something. And that's what I want to talk about today. What is stopping you from making the plan and from doing the something? So the first thing that comes up for so many riders is they have no space. It's amazing how when you think back to when you used to ride consistently and regularly, and you think, how did I have the time to do that? What was it? Was I not doing anything else? Now, obviously things can change, and maybe especially if there's maybe family responsibilities, jobs, whatever. These things that also like are really important and take up our time. It's amazing how the time or the space that you used to have for horse riding, it just gets occupied for, I don't know, by everything else, okay? And in order to make horse riding like get back into that, to squeeze it back in, you're going to have to say no to a couple of things. So you're going to have to really sit down and think, okay, what is really important right now? Is horse riding one of the top priorities? If so, great. What am I going to have to say no to? Because the current schedule, horse riding is not going to fit in there. You're going to have to make decisions and choices. And it's going to be really, really important to understand that, okay? When you then create the space, so let's say you've made a decision, okay, well, instead of watching 3 episodes of my favorite program every day, I'm only going to watch 1, and the other 2 kind of the space for those other 2 episodes, that is going to be spent horse riding, or whatever the case is. Okay, I'm using that as so many people say, you watch too much television. I don't know anybody who sits and watches TV series all day long, but there we go. It seems to be a thing, so I'm going to use it. But you're going to have to then get really, really, if you want, committed and dedicated and disciplined to actually then go to the stables. Okay, so it's no good saying like, I'm going to do this. You then have to go and actually take action and go do what it is you want to do. Okay, the next reason is that things are different and the circumstances have changed. And remember, you are a different person today to the person that you were yesterday. Like, change is inevitable, as they all say, okay? But often when we think of something that we used to do, no matter how many years ago or days ago or weeks ago or months ago it was, okay? And we think about doing that thing now and we're like, I don't know now. I might be different, or this is different, okay? You have to accept the fact that things are going to be different. Whether it might be a different horse, it could be a different yard, it could be a different instructor, it could be that you've a different size jodhpurs on, okay? It makes no difference. There are going to be differences. And you have to accept that. You're going to have to, as part of the journey, see that as just being part and parcel. It goes with it. And you know what? It's going to actually make this just as fulfilling an experience this time around. Because for many riders, that is actually the fear. It's not so much that things are different. The fear is that because things are different, it's not going to be as good. And maybe it is that your favorite horse, your heart horse, your forever horse is not there anymore. Or maybe it is that the instructor that you really, really kind of got on with, you trusted at the yard, is gone and is not there anymore. Or whether it is that you now maybe are 3 sizes bigger than what you were and it's going to be different and you don't have the same confidence anymore. You know, these are all part of it. See this as being a whole unique experience in and of itself, going back to riding, and just embrace the changes and say, okay, well, this is how it is now. Let's see how that's going to work for me. Let's see how much better this can be for me because of this. And it doesn't have to be better. It can also just be different. It can be equally as enjoyable, but in a different way, okay? The third big reason that kind of holds people back is a fear. They're afraid. And, you know, we've talked about how things change. And one of the big things for rider is that they have changed. And whether it is the size, so maybe they're a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, but it could also be their age. Maybe you're 30 years older now than what you were when you used to ride, okay? Or maybe you lack the same fitness and suppleness as you used to have. Maybe, as I said, it's weight gain, maybe it's weight loss, maybe it's your body now, you've more, maybe a chronic illness that you are all the time working with in order to really go out there and live your best life. Whatever it is, okay? People can very often be afraid, okay? And, you know, becoming older or less fit and supple, it can cause us to question our own abilities. But why not turn the question around and kind of ask yourself, okay, so how can I make horse riding work for this current version of me, okay? And instead of waiting and saying, okay, I'll start horse riding when I've lost, I don't know, like 12 kilos or 2 stone or whatever, okay? Then I'll start horse riding again, okay? Why not just say, hold on now. Okay, so this is how I am right now. How can horse riding work for me? You know, horse riding works for almost everybody. There are different situations. There are different ways that we can really and truly tailor the experience. And Your people can do that for you. Like there is no need for you to hold back until you've reached this magic in your head number. That is fear talking. So why not just really and truly allow the horse riding to actually become a catalyst for you beginning to maybe dedicate more time to yourself, your self-care, your mental health, your physical health, all of that fun stuff. Instead of waiting for all of that to be quote unquote right or correct or ready, why not go horse riding now and allow horse riding to be the catalyst to help you get there, okay? And it's amazing when you start just spending a little bit of time on yourself, for yourself, and really doing something that you enjoy. You can really and truly begin to be comfortable with the person you are now and with the rider you are now. And again, going back to the fact that it is going to be different, but embracing the differences and being open to the new opportunities that those differences are going to actually create for you in your horse riding and in your experience with horse riding. That can be a magical thing. So be open to it, okay? Now, what I'm going to suggest you do is that when you do actually go back and you do get into the saddle again, okay? Start reimagining what horse riding could be for you at this point. It doesn't have to be the same as what it was. I think sometimes we can get so caught up in the way things were and how good it was, and we're not willing to just be open to different things. It could be a different discipline, okay? Like totally different. Horse riding, there's so many disciplines and there's so many fun activities in horse riding now that are that have communities built around them, and that people get together and they actively work on this stuff and work on improving it, and there's this, as I said, this whole community and camaraderie around it. There's so many different things that weren't available 10 or 20 years ago. So it can be different, and it can be something even better. And maybe it won't be better, but maybe it'll be just as good. But as I said, different for you. I do think that it's really important to be open to it and to really and truly help yourself to get back in the saddle, get back doing the thing you love, and do it on a regular and a consistent basis. Really, really important. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link to a couple of different episodes that I've spoken more about this, and you'll find all that on the show notes for this episode as well. Okay, I am going to leave it here. I hope you have a great day. Keep well. I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.